Hello, my name is Andrea Riggs, and I'm going to introduce myself today. I live in Puerto Rico. I am married. My husband is Charles, and I have three beautiful children, Lucy, Evan, and Ava. Evan and Ava are my twins, and they're all teenagers, and they are so much fun. They fill my life with adventure, activity, flight, surfing, all of it, you name it. These are my birds. They are male and female. They're lovebirds. So the blue one is Buddha, we call him Bobo, and then the female is the green with the orangey, fiery, her name's Pele. So they really like to hang out, and I'm also training them. So when I'm out with my plants, which that's what this channel is about, it's called She Grows It, my husband Charles thought that it would be a really great idea to share really just what we've done in our own little space here. We live at Hobos Beach, so the ground is very sandy. Where we live actually is, if I walk 60 seconds that way, I'm right at the beach. So this hole, if you dig down, the substrate really is sand, arena. And so in order to have a thriving environment here at our beach house, we've had to work a lot with the soils, and also just learning. There are mosquitoes, just learning and watching and listening. And usually my birds are with me because I'm training them, and so they are my first thing with the birds is that I wanted them to love each other, and they do. A crazy story about the blue one. We were up at our farm. Well, so okay, let me back up. We have two houses on the island of Puerto Rico. One is at the beach, so I call it our beach house, and the other one is up in the mountains, and I'll call that usually the farmhouse or the mountain house. And the one at the beach is small, and what we've done here is we've taken the whole perimeter that was literally, we had 3 cocoa trees, 1, 2, 3, that's it. And I think 2 banana trees, and literally that's it. There was kind of this old dead grass thing happening. Because number one, nothing was planted, and number two, it's very hot and kind of desolate. And there was one more tree that's just a tree, and I'll show you'll see that as I'll show before and after pictures. And that's really it. The home that we have up in the mountains is totally different. It's 14 acres, and it gives me chills to even talk about, because when Maria came through, a lot of the mature fruit trees that were on the island fell and died. Now, where the property that we recently purchased, well, about a year ago, it's more of a valley. It comes down and it has a river, and because of that, when the trees fell, not that many did fall. It was protected. There's still probably at least a dozen trees that did fall. The cool thing about it is that when they fell, you can literally tell there's all these new offshoots that have happened. Another really cool thing about the farm here in Puerto Rico is that it hasn't been untouched. There's no pesticides. The farmer that was on the property passed away about 10 years ago, Felipe, actually on the property. He had a tragic accident that I'll show you. His old Jeep is still on the property. And we stay very close and connected to the people that owned the property. And there's a mosquito. And you know, it's I don't really feel like we own it. I feel like we are watching over that land, like we're stewards of the land, and it's a real sacred property, and there are hundreds and hundreds of fruit trees on the land, because the fruit, as it falls, of course it grows a new tree. So there's so many babies all over the tree. It used to be a cacao farm, a coffee farm. There are plantains, there are avocados, quenepas, mangoes, mangosteen, like so many I can't even, soursop, these like really sweet limes, these little yellow circled, or like we call them lemon drops. Like it just goes on and on and on, and it like blows my mind. Every time I see it, it blows my mind. So a really cool thing, and also I'll just notate that like some of my videos, you'll be like, oh my gosh, is there an airplane flying over? Yes, there are airplanes. We live very close to an airport, and also we live right by the beach, so we have helicopters going on the coast a lot to make sure we're safe and all those things. So there are some environmental noises that you'll for sure hear in my videos. We decided to move to the island we moved here actually 5 years ago, and we're here for about 7 months. We moved back to southern Utah, built a home, did a lot with outdoor landscaping there as well. And I think I'd say that my love for the outdoors and for creating an environment, and that's a very, very sanctuous, like a sanctuary, came from my father for sure. And he passed away 2019, August 2nd. And you know, after he passed away, then we had it was a lot for me, and I'm a daddy's girl, and he really had an ability to make land, to take what land was there and make it more beautiful, and to take a building that was already there and make it better. He was a real estate broker, he was a land developer, he had his own construction business. He was really a one-man show, though. He didn't want to work with other people. He mostly just wanted to take his visions and make them reality. So as a little girl, I grew up watching him do that, and definitely not all of the things that he did were successful. He had many, many, many failures. And I think in that, and hearing so many of his conversations and just being a part of the way that he viewed life and the way he spoke with people, and gave people really the benefit of the doubt, and always had a vision of what he wanted, that really sunk into my DNA as a little girl. And I definitely have aligned my life with a man that admires those same things as I do. So when my father passed away, we were neighbors with him, and had developed some land with him, just a little piece of land, and I built a beautiful home next to his. And Charles had this idea to do a rose garden, and you know, it's I think that we all hold dear what we hold dear, and some people hold things like animals and plants really dear. And I think that in the world that we live in, there's a deep cause for us to really stop, especially with the pandemic. And my father passed away before the pandemic, and I oftentimes wonder what he would say about the things that we all have gone through the past 3 years of our life and 2 years of our life. And you know, it's the world has changed a lot in the past 2 years, and one thing that I really feel like has shifted is this connection, and this lack of connection, because humans have always needed plants to live. Like, we eat plants, plants and fruits and vegetables, they grow and they feed us, and when we care about plants, they care about us. And the beautiful thing is that plants were around before us, and the phenomenal thing is that they'll be around long after we're gone. And so I feel like one thing that I thought was so impactful to me when the pandemic hit is, even though it caused a lack of connection between humans, I feel, because we all kind of isolated and we're told to do that. I see that in my own life. I see that in the people that I love. I see that in the world around us. I think we all can align in that there was a kind of a shut off, a shut out, and like a hunker down type energy that happened. And in that, like, look what happened to Mother Nature, right? The oceans, like lots of really beautiful, impactful things happened on the earth. They're fighting. Don't fight. And so because of that, what I feel like that really illustrates is that the world, like Mother Earth, the earth doesn't need us as humans. If anything, we're messing her up. We're doing more damage than good. And I know there are so many brilliant minds and so many people with huge hearts that are doing so much good for the world and for the earth. You know, for me, it's not about necessarily like making the world a better place. Like what if we just made the earth a better place? What if we just like all picked up more trash? What if we all just like planted a little teeny tiny garden, as tiny as that could be? It might be 1 carrot. That's all your claim to fame of being a gardener is. We're not all born to be a green thumbs, right? Like, I don't know that I would even say I'm a green thumb, and then maybe you'd look at me and say, holy cow, whoa, she did all that. I'm a really good babysitter, and I'm really curious, and in that curiosity, it causes me to like give all my energy to that thing. I believe that's what makes me an amazing mother. I believe that's what makes me an amazing yoga teacher. I believe that's what makes me amazing when I like set my mind to something. I really give it my all. I live it. I think Charles Bukowski who said, if you're gonna go all in. And that is, be nice, or I'll have to take you off my hat. I'd say that that's a big part of my personality, which is an intensity for sure. It's like in yoga, I talk about drishti. It's where you're looking. It's different than looking and trying to master 5 different things. No, just one thing. And so with plants, they're fun for me because in the Caribbean, oh my gosh, so many of the plants that we had in our home in southern Utah that we had to be like really specific with. Now those plants that were indoors, they as I've tried to put them indoors, I'll tell you what, they flourish much greater outdoors. So I'll have a plant, it'll be inside, I'm like, you're not doing well, I'll take it outside. Literally within a few weeks, I'm like, yep, you are just happier out here, aren't you? So that is really cool, to live in the Caribbean where the moisture, the humidity, the rains, like when they come down, they pour, and I love it. I love nature. And I feel like that's something that we all can just totally get behind. And I really feel like that is where we're at in life. If we can just take our attention off of trying to like make or do or save people, and we just put our attention on healing our own self and healing Mother Nature, that in that, like, that to me is something that is so inspiring. That to me is something that I feel like it calls to our spirit, each and every one of us, in a different way. And thank goodness we can celebrate that diversity. Thank goodness we can bring about each other's oddities. We're celebrating uniqueness, celebrating we all have differences. Why would we want to be the same? Why would we want one plant to multiply the entire population? We don't. We want to fill our lives and our worlds and our landscaping with as many varieties as you can imagine, with as many varieties as are sustainable for you and for your lifestyle and for your family and for the people that you love. Because in that, caring is sharing. Like when you care, then sharing is just a natural extension. That's all I'm doing. Like she grows it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've done a few things, but man, Mother Nature, the sun, the moon, the stars, the rains, all of that, like I have to do so little now. I do a little bit in the beginning when they're like rooting and really looking and where does this plant go, and oh God, is it gonna die, and you know, all that upfront worrying. Once you really understand your environment and what you're wanting to create for yourself, for the people that you love, that you live with, for your life, like it can be as simple literally as like, oh, I just want to create more peace and harmony in my life. I want to feel my life with greenery. Well, why? Well, because it makes me feel good. wow, isn't that an amazing cause? To create a self-healing environment for each of ourselves in our own homes. That's amazing. And then of course, you know, we gotta give some stuff up. To want something, we've gotta give something. You go on it, and so you're gonna have to give up that, you know, you're gonna nail it and get it right, because you know what, plants aren't about getting it right. It's about looking and listening and being in that, and then from there, the better listener you are, and you're like, wait, my plant doesn't talk to me, right? Yeah, it does. Like, think of animals. Think of like Vega, my dog, my golden doodle. She's right there. Like, she's hot. I think she wants a drink. She's like looking at me. She's panting. She's speaking another language. It's not with words, and that's a beautiful thing. When we're understanding that our environments and what's around us really cause our internal environment. So if the environment around you isn't working for you, homeschool, work, any of those external environments, noises out in your neighborhood, any of those external environments, mosquito, those cause our internal environment. So if you have stress and anxiety, it's just that the external environment isn't working for you. Like right now, this mosquito isn't working for me, and I just want to kill it, which is not a very yoga type ahimsa happening. No, but you know what? I don't want to be bitten. So there are going to be things that just don't work for you, and you just got to say, yeah, I don't want that. And there's nothing about it. What if you have a plant and you think you want it, and then you learn that you just don't like it? That's okay. You give it to a neighbor. So that's a long introduction, and though, like, that's what I want to say about really the intention of my channel, She Grows It, is that you understand that I can't take responsibility really truly for anything that has flourished, because Mother Nature does that on her own. As I look at our farm and I see what the beautiful soils that are so nutrient dense, just the wisdom that the earth holds for each and every one of us, like, we're just really guests here, and I really feel that. And you know, we all come from a posterity, and we all come from generations of farmers and people that work the land, and I think that there's a lot to be said about that, a lot to be said for digging holes and pulling weeds and trimming and harvesting, and there's like, it's soul work. And even though it's hard, and I have had many pulled muscles from up at the farm pulling vines and trying to clear these beautiful, magnificent trees of the vines that have just enraptured them over the years, you know, it's like tending to the earth. And if I could like cause anything, it would be that we tend to the earth, that we like have her back, that we become the protectors, if you will, in whatever way that we can, in whatever possibility that is there for you, whether that's, like I said, picking up trash or starting a garden, or, you know, here we have different friends that are working on the corals. Like, oh my gosh, yes, can we save the coral reef? Can we make one tiny shift in our daily life, that, because if we all do that, whoosh, ripples just come out from that, and that is so phenomenal. So She Grows It isn't about me, it's about it's about all of us. It's about that we all have a feminine energy, and if the earth is a feminine energy, which I believe Mother Earth is a feminine energy, and I believe that feminine energy is what heals the world, and I believe it's what heals ourselves, and I feel like it's that our healing isn't out there, it's in here. And if we can all just like reach into the earth and align in that energy that's very grounded and very strong, then in that we are all becoming connected to her once again, and in that we're all a part of something much bigger than I could ever do myself, Andrea. No, it's not about me. It is about what each can we do? What each are we inspired by? what each is the contrast of our daily life that isn't working for us, and how can we contrast that and bring in the darkness and the light, the stira and the sukha, this yin and this yang. Where are we too out of balance? Because you're never going to find balance. There's never ever a balance, ever. Balance is something we experience moments of, but it's not meant. The birds are probably pooping, and they do all over, and that's okay. Because keep poop in the loop. It's a part of life. So in that, if we're creating that, and if we can see that, where we are out like, whoa, I'm working 9 to 5. I'm working way too much, and I'm unhappy, and I'm harsh with my kids, and I'm hard. Well, I need to bring in the softness, yeah? Okay, well, what brings softness into your life? For you. I can't answer that. That's for you. And then other people that are like, oh yeah, I'm watching Netflix, like I'm watching reruns of Schitt's Creek, and whatever it may be. It's like, and I love Schitt's Creek. It's like wherever that softness or that like too much softness, then okay, yeah, I need some rigor. I need some like structure in my life. What can I do to bring that in so that I am feeling more of this like ebb and this flow? Yeah, that to me is like, oh, that gets me excited. So that's what I say She Grows is about. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I love it. It lights me up. I have 2 lovebirds, a golden doodle. We have fish that keep multiplying, and we don't even have to do much other than feed them and create a beautiful environment for them. And I really have a deep love for these beautiful plants. Be nice. Be nice. They're not being nice. These beautiful plants that really teach me more than I do to them. Clearly, I'm not teaching them anything. They're teaching me. And in my curiosity and in my listening, that's really all I want to share, is that, oh my gosh, look at this plant. Look what I did here. That wasn't working, so I moved it here. Oh my word, whoa, water propagation does work. Oh my gosh, sometimes you're gonna fail at it because only one of my fiddle fig leaves has grown roots and the rest have been down the toilet. But you know what? It's a process, and I believe that by me just sharing my experience, that it just wakes up what's already inside of you. And in that, it'll be like, oh my gosh, yes, this is there for me. It's not me. All I'm doing is sharing my experience. Then whatever lightens up inside of you, that is the beauty. Because then that's powerful for you to then be on your journey, and you go and you run, or you sit, or you dig, or you water, or you propagate, or you buy a farm, or you dig a hole, or you plant a tree, or who knows? The sky is the limit, and there are so many stars in the sky, and not one is alike, and thank goodness that we're all so different. So that's the intention of this channel, and it won't grow without you, truly. So it won't be me that grows it, it'll be all of us that grow it together. And sharing that simple message that let's be curious together, and let's listen together, and what can come about in that, I don't know, but I feel like it's pretty magical. So thanks for listening, thanks for sharing your like what's enlivened in you. I want to know that, so share that, because I feel like that's where inspiration comes from, just that genuine like, oh my gosh, this is what got evoked in me. And when you share, you're offering a piece of yourself, just like I'm sharing with you right now. I let go of the outcome. I don't know where this is headed. I really have no idea. I don't need anyone to do anything. I don't operate that way. It's just simply about one thing. And that one thing, it's growing a plant. That's it.